Hi, this is Dave O'Mara, and this is 5 by 5 on Friday, May 27th, 2005. The encounters with these two crazy people lodged in my mind like an unsolved puzzle, and they continued to occupy my thoughts, occasionally, of course, but not every minute, for the next year or so. In the case of Sylvia Frumpkin, whom I had met only through the transcribed monologues published in the New Yorker by Susan
unknown. The
I
color
suppose I
of
could
our
have
notion is
described
about what we
that
do
one
know.
strangely
If we
lucid,
call death
even
asleep,
insightful
it's because it has the appearance of sleep. If we call death a new life, it's because it seems different from life. We build our beliefs and hopes out of these small misunderstandings. Now, some people might say that's a metaphor, but he calls it a misunderstanding.
on a mental patient called Sylvia Frumpkin, a fictitious name that she gave to protect this poor woman's identity. And when I read it, it crystallized a concern that I had, what was to me a major intellectual problem about the nature of the human mind. And the other, it became considered by astronomers in a world where all the orbits of the planets in their solar system happened to have no eccentricity whatsoever, to all be in the same plane and be perfectly circular. And so I'm going to continue where he's been talking about this possibility of what astronomers. And that's where there was a similarity to my encounter with the guy who came around at 3 a.m. looking for an apartment at Madison Manor on a bitterly cold night. For he too seemed to have a clear eye for the bottom line, although according to his own definition of what that might be. Now, part of this was the reaction of the cop at the scene that night. The cop clearly thought that the 3 a.m.
I pretty quickly sized him up as being some kind of mentally ill, but it was so cold at night, that I couldn't kick him out because it was very, very dangerous outside. And so I let him into the lobby, and he was, well, kind of goofy, not, not as top saying. A table made out of pine wood is a pine tree, but it is also a table. We sit down at the table, not at the pine tree. Although love is a sexual instinct, we do not love with that instinct. Rather, we presuppose the existence of another feeling, and that presupposition is effective
behavior that night,
another feeling.
a major objective in the pursuit of which all his behaviors were organized. I don't like this bench at the police station. The policemen are rude. The bench is hard. I'm going to find a nicer place to spend the night where the bed is soft and the people are nice. I'll just go out into the cold and start looking. It's so cold, and the cold is so likely to freeze me to death that if I wander around in my shirt sleeves, whoever sees me will let me in the door. And if I encounter authority again, I will just jabber away incoherently and cough. Who cares? I'll fake my cough. It's a fresh metaphor, since nearly everything we say involves some sort of metaphor. I'll be back in a moment. Referring to time as space and space as time. We use metaphors all the time, deeply embedded in everything we say. And our current metaphor for people who are severely mentally ill is that they are ill. It's the metaphor. We shall not be inclined to believe that nature has done it deliberately to deceive us. Or, right, that's the version of it being by pure chance. The hypothesis of an error of this kind, in other words, the discovery of anything simple, seems to us to reveal instruction. And the guy, he calms down, gets in the ambulance, goes off to the emergency room for the night, and the cop turns to me and says, "There's your tax dollars at work. This will cost the taxpayers, $800, whatever. Right now, by the time the night's done, it'll be 2 or 3 dollars." And he knew what struck me then, even the symptoms of his disease began to become part of the flow of really nutty word salad out of his mouth, was something that he could adjust when he was just sitting alone with me. And I think I was being fairly nice to him, the relatively nice security guard. He was able to keep that pretty much under control and didn't babble nearly as much. As soon as the cops showed up, he was babbling very quickly, very fast, and really, really nuts. And so that was the problem for me.